Thank you, Chrissy, and thanks to the expansive Crab family as well, and all of our other long-term shareholders who have supported us greatly on our journey from being a grassroots explorer back in 2022 to where we are today with two very advanced projects and hopefully seeing some production very soon. That's just a picture there of inside of one of our pits at Van Uden that was last mined in 2001. Our usual disclaimer, read it at your leisure. So our two main projects are in the Lake Johnson lithium project and also the Van Uden Gold Project, which we acquired in March this year. They're both in the Southern Goldfields region. It's a great area down there. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. You can work around there all year round. And also in our new Van Uden area, there's a lot of laterite around too, so no rain around there really stops us either. So we've got a drilling program underway and we're getting really stuck in. They're also conveniently located quite close to each other, only 100 kilometres away, so we can move between those two projects quite easily. There's been historical production on the Van Uden Gold Project back, as I mentioned before, back in 2001, back when they were putting ore through the Bounty mill. When Bounty closed due to low gold prices, so did everything else around that region. And that's why we've ended up today with the Van Uden Project, with the majority of the ore still intact and in the ground, ready for us to exploit it. There's some existing stockpiles there too from the previous mining. What they called low grade back then was anything under 2.5 grams per tonne. That's high grade. So the existing stockpiles that have been there, we have done some evaluation on those, done some drilling, done some metallurgical test work, and we passed those results on to our nearby processing facilities around at Marvel Lock. You can see there's Edna May on care and maintenance as well. There's also plants in Coolgardie, and there will soon be a development at Lake Johnson as well. Our resource growth plan at the moment, we're doing drilling along strike and down dip, planned to update the MRE in first quarter of 2026. That won't stop us drilling though, we'll continue to drill. There's a lot of the resource to upgrade, and we can see that on our slides as we go through. On our exploration upside, it's along strikers, but also we've got the emerging Gold Cities prospect, which is rather exciting too, and that's on some exploration licences to the south, 20 kilometres to the south of Van Uden. I'll go through that as well. We've got great access to infrastructure as well, sealed roads to the project as well from the north. We've got power lines running right next to it as well, and we've got an established haul road, so all it needs is a bit of a touch up with the grader and we're ready to go. Just on the corporate side, we're quite modestly market cap there at around $21 million, 22 depending on the day. As mentioned before, well supported by our long-term shareholders, still holding around 62% in the top 50 shareholders. Most of those who are long-term been there right through from IPO. We're well cashed up now to continue our drilling programs and also our development, around $5 million in the bank, and quite a tight register. Our directors and management are still the same as what they were since we listed. We all get on really well together and work well together, and we've got a good mix. On our share price performance, like everyone, we in the gold junior sector, we had a massive spike up there in October, and now it's as if that didn't even happen, even though I note today that the Australian gold price is back around $6,300 an ounce, which is about where it was in about mid-October. So I don't know what's going on with the investors. Perhaps they were expecting it to go to 8,000 anytime soon, but let's hope that happens next year. Just getting a zoom in on the Van Uden project. So granted mining leases on the resource established, and then we've got our satellite exploration licences there as well. And as I said, well serviced with sealed roads and other infrastructure. Because it's on granted mining leases, we can get mining start there really soon. We've got a small mining proposal actually granted to start moving the stockpiles off-site, and as soon as we secure a toll milling arrangement, we'll be getting stuck into that. We should only take us about 2 weeks of establishment to get that underway, and then we'll be trucking away. And just recently, so we've done a lot of work since March when we first acquired the project, and one of those was conveniently supplied by the past owners. So Kidman Resources had this at one stage, and in their haste, in the lithium boom that was back around 2017, they went and did soil sampling all over the tenement, but they neglected to assay for gold. So luckily those pulps still existed. We pulled them out of the shed and put them in for gold, and we have got basically soil anomalies all the way along the Van Uden Shear. They're of a similar magnitude to what is over the existing resource as well, so that gives us a great hope that we're going to actually get some continuation there. There was some early drilling that was done as well, and you can see there's a line there on the northern side there, but that was never followed up. For them back in the day, which was around about in the 1990s, the 1.5 and 2 grams a tonne they got there was just too low grade for them, so they just left it alone and didn't follow it up. So that's what we're doing right now. We've got our first approvals in place to start drilling those, and that'll be done into December. And the only reason why the soil sampling doesn't show up any anomalies further to the south is because it's covered by sand. However, we have found out from our neighbours to the south there that they're getting hits on the other side of the tenement. So that's something we'll be doing later on as well, is drilling through the sand and then having a look for some continuation to the south. So 6.5 kilometres strike length is not the end of it. It could be a lot longer. It's a significant gold resource that we picked up anyway. We redefined it for JORC compliance 2012 and got 227,000 ounces, but it's very shallow. It's only drilled to 80 metres depth up there towards the Demon pit, and in the south at the Tasman pit there, 148 metres is the deepest hole that was previously drilled. We're now currently drilling 200 metres plus, so well outside of what the existing resource is. And not that I can comment on that too much because it's only visuals, but we're getting encouraging signs that it is continuing at depth. On our latest drilling, there's some of the great hits that we've had already: 10 metres at 4.98, 15 at 4. Even though it's the overall grade of the resources around 1.1, there is a lot of high grade zones in there. These are all still fairly shallow, so they're all open pittable. And then perhaps in the future there's some underground potential as well, but we've got a lot more drilling to do before we get to that stage as well. And this is in fact the largest pit shell constrained gold resource of any of the juniors in the Forrestania belt. There are others that are unconstrained. I won't mention them, but they obviously won't be compliant for JORC 2025. So we've made this, our resource, bulletproof for the next version of JORC that's coming out. Hopefully next year, Rita, I don't know. But anyway, we've been waiting a long time for it. Could be JORC 2026 by the time it comes out. Just zooming in again from this is a long section through Van Uden Gold deposit. And you can see there the shallowness of the drilling. That top line there is 100 metres below surface, and you can see a lot of the resource doesn't even extend below that because that's the limit of the drilling. We're now drilling, as I said, between 100 and 200 metres. We're going to fill all that in and then punch out a resource update next year. So there's a lot more expansion to be done at depth, and then also along strike as well. Basically it's a resource in its infancy. I can see it growing a lot larger than what it's currently at. And just having a look at some sections along the actual resource here as well. You can see it's there's quite some decent thicknesses up underneath the old Demon pit. That was a trial pit that was done, so it's quite shallow, but they took in some of the laterite there. There is expansive laterite in the Demon area as well, 760,000 tonnes of laterite defined at the moment, but that's all open in every direction, so we're hopeful we can expand on that as well. It's also at a fairly high cut-off grade too, of 0.35, which matches the resource. Could probably go lower than that because the strip ratio on laterite is almost 0. And then a section there on the around the Tasman pit area. where the ore is deeper there, but we're getting significantly higher grades. So this is a section here through the Tasman open pit. So the void part of the pit there is the light colour, and then everything that remains underneath the pit there is shown as well. So in order to get that, is literally we just steepen the ramp up, get some smaller six-wheel trucks in, and then we can take out everything within that's just below that pit there and pit floor, and that's what we plan to do early into next year, and get some more tonnes available for toll treatment, very early toll treatment. From there on in, it's just a matter of doing some cutbacks. You can see there's a bit of laterite there as well on the eastern side there that we can take in. Also help with some of the little bit of pre-strip that needs to be done. But it's very thick in the Tasman area and high grade, and that'll be a target for our first proper mining of the resource. In the Demon area, a lot shallower, thicker again. It also has a quite large blanket of laterite over the top of it as well, and we're getting hits there surprisingly better than where we've drilled between holes than was done previously, and we think that a lot of that is to do with the assay method that was used back in the early 90s. They used Aquarija AAS only for some of those holes, which is not ideal, doesn't pick up everything. We're using a photon method now, and we're actually getting zones outside of what was picked up before and more continuous zones. So if that continues, there's a bunch of drilling in there around about 1992 that we'll have to go back and re-drill, but that's good news because it's going to be wider and it's going to be higher grade. Just on Gold City, so this is our satellite sort of project. It's 20 kilometres to the south. It's not too far, very close to the road. We've had historical drilling there, 14 metres at 2.26, 25 metres at 1.09. It's quite thick deposit down there. But at the moment we can't get a handle on the orientation of it. So we've got mineralisation going over in all sorts of different directions. It could be a stockwork. We think it's now got a plunge direction to the northeast, which is evidence from our updated soil sampling we've got in the area there, and that would expand the area of influence of it about 3 times as well. So this could end up being quite a significant deposit on its own, and certainly a great addition to the Van Uden deposit and mining leases that we've got there. And just touching on lithium, as we all know, lithium's had a bit of a bump in price just recently. Spodumene prices going above $1,000 for the first time for well over a year, and so we've always said we'll go back to the Lake Johnson Lithium Project when we're generating some funds from our gold project, because we can generate those funds from our processing our stockpiles. It's not going to eat into shareholders' money, and we won't have to go and capital raise on something that could be up 1 month and down the next. We're hoping this is a continued and sustained run, but that's what we want to do. So our first task there is to drill out the resource from Burmeister and then extend the Jägermeister mineralisation. As you can see down there on the cross-section, Jägermeister is very lightly drilled, but it's also very consistent as well. The main zone there is as flat as you can get it, and very consistent. And then once we've got that first resource out, that leaves us open to our first studies. So we can move towards a PFS pretty rapidly there. We've already done the metallurgical test work. We know that we can get an SC6 concentrate out of it. We know that we can get great recoveries out of it as well. The flow sheet for that would be a DMS with a flotation finish, and we're hoping that we can progress that pretty quickly. Just on the next steps there, so as I mentioned, getting the stockpiles done, resource drilling, new resource out next year, early next year, and then getting our Tasman mining pit approvals done as soon as we can. We've got a lot of stuff that we've got already done in there, water services and the like. And then doing our flora and fauna surveys for the larger pit Van Uden pit approvals and also for continued exploration at Gold City. Thank you for your attention.